Hi there. Welcome to Rome Business Radio. This is the Rome Floyd Chamber Small Business Spotlight Podcast. We are broadcasting from the Hardy Realty Studios, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. I am Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio.
And I'm Thomas Kislett with the Rome Floyd Chamber.
Hello, Thomas.
Hey, Roger. How's it going?
I am doing fine. How are you?
I'm splendid. Thanks for asking.
We are in the Zoom room, as always, as we are hopefully coming out of the back end of a pandemic, but we're still being safe and doing this podcast over Zoom. And again, we're here to celebrate business, make connections, share the great business stories of Rome, Floyd County, and Northwest Georgia. Thomas, if you don't mind, would you go around our Zoom room and introduce our guest, please?
Sure, absolutely. Today, March 23rd, 2021, we have three guests today on the show, and we go ahead with Tracy Hellriegel. Tracy is with the Rome Shakespeare Festival, and she also represents the Playhouse. That's the River Arts District Playhouse. And then we have Todd Williams from Lawrence Plantation and Richard Bradley with Roman Martial Arts.
Hello, welcome, everybody.
Good morning.
Hi there. Tracy, let's start with you. If you could just, give us the big 30-second overview of the Rome Shakespeare Festival, your involvement in it, and what it means to our community.
Well, the Rome Shakespeare Festival was founded in 2016 by Gail Deschamps and myself. Gail recently passed away just this past February. So now I'm running the show for a moment by myself. Hopefully that won't last very long and we'll have a big team. But this year's festival opens on September the 29th. We have All's Well That Ends Well with that will be performed by our young actors, and The Tempest, which will be our regular Shakespeare company. This year will be directed by Drew Davidson from Shorter College. So it'll be our normal Shakespeare Festival as usual. We actually were able to hold it last September in spite of COVID, and did some, since we're outdoors, we had a little bit more flexibility, and we did the social distancing circles and spread our tables out and still had quite a crowd. We were very actually surprised and pleased. But the River District Playhouse, the RAD, is the indoor venue for the Shakespeare Festival. So it's still part of the organization, but it's a very intimate, very small. We max out about 40. Right now, we're only seating about 30. But it's a very tiny theater. So we've continued to do shows in there with masks and, as much social distancing as we can in a space that small. But we do have a show opening on April 8th, Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of the update of where we are at this moment. Was that 30 seconds?
No, but that's okay. We're just going around the room here. Let's stop by here with Todd Williams at Lawrence Plantation. Todd, thank you so much for joining us. If you could just tell us a little bit about your event space and your pool and tennis courts and all the great stuff people can do out at Lawrence Plantation.
You got it. We run a very busy pool. A lot of families, though. It's a big family mixture of white collar and blue collar, and it's a lot of fun. So that's coming up very soon. We're about to get our hands wet. And we also do events for the public, such as karaoke every Friday night, with a bar opening at 6 p.m. and karaoke every night at 7, or every Friday night at 7. Matter of fact, this Saturday we have a live band coming, and that's also always open to the public. But we also do weddings and special events, and we're running a great tennis program where we have 3 covered tennis courts, 5 outdoor courts, and there's lots of activities going on for kids and adults, whether they're beginners or advanced players. So a little bit of what's going on out here, and check our website for more.
Todd, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Lock the door and turn the lights down.
I could have made that guess, Todd.
Wow, whatever room you were in, the acoustics were great just then. Okay, excuse me, I'm clearing my throat here a little bit. I was not going to sing, but now let's check in with Richard Bradley at Roman Martial Arts before he decides to kick my rear end. Hi, Richard.
Morning. How are y'all doing?
Good. How are you? Tell me a little bit about Roman martial arts and your background in the martial arts.
Sure. I started training in Taekwondo in 1981. We've been open since 1991. We've been in the same building where we are in East Rome near Piccadilly since 1995. We're very established. We teach traditional and sport Taekwondo. We do adult self-defense, Hapkido. We've worked with the Sexual Assault Center teaching self-defense classes to the public. We haven't done one of those in quite a while, but in the past we were very involved with that. We have a strong competition team that competes nationally and internationally. We have certified referees that referee all over the country, and I myself am certified to referee anywhere in the world.
Wow.
So,
what is your, excuse my ignorance, you are, black belt has a variety of degrees, and I would imagine, what is your rank?
Sure. I have a 7th degree black belt in Taekwondo and also in Hapkido.
Okay.
Certified through Korea from the Kukiwon, which is the World Taekwondo headquarters.
Okay. Some of this I'm fascinated by. My background is in TV sports. So years ago, 20 or 30 years ago, I did a story on Taekwondo. And if you, refreshing my memory, that translates somehow about the use of the foot. Is that correct?
Right. If you want to get very specific, Taekwondo means foot, hand, way.
That's it.
The art of using the feet and hands, something to that effect.
So, and obviously part of martial arts is obviously there's a discipline and respect, and it's primarily defensive and all that. So all ages can come and take courses at your place and learn these types of things.
They can. We have children as young as 2.
Wow. I
have adults in their late 50s and everybody in between.
Thomas, this is a fascinating panel you have selected. Thomas and I joke week to week. I kind of call this podcast, to me, it's like a little bit like a cocktail party. We bring people together that, might not necessarily cross paths, but Rome and Floyd can be a great small town where you might know each other already through other endeavors. But, here we have, Shakespeare to Taekwondo and tennis, swimming, and event space. So, Thomas, what's the theme this week?
The theme? Well, we heard it from everybody, ages 2 and up to 50, and, kids play, adult play, karaoke. I came up with, family entertainment and recreation and leisure, something, that you do in your free time and just to relax, to have fun, to work on your mental wellness, And there are certain fields that you need for that. You have the arts, you have sports, you have a space. And later on, I'm going to tie them all together. So just stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, sometimes I try to put Thomas on the spot, and he always comes up with something. So Tracy, I'm also fascinated by this. Shakespeare was the stuff that we kind of had to read in high school. And maybe some of us did it begrudgingly. Because he wrote an iambic pentameter. He used this flowery language that didn't translate to necessarily a Southern boy from Armurchie, Georgia.
A 14-year-old. Yeah.
So thank goodness for Cliff's Notes. So what is the attraction for? But Shakespeare. Obviously his work has transcended centuries, hundreds of years, and plays out in theaters like this all over the world. So what's the attraction to you to Shakespeare?
Well, my personal attraction to Shakespeare did not even exist until I met Gail Deschamps. I have been in theater my entire life, primarily musical theater. I did a show with Gail at Rome Little Theater, and that's when I met her. I was an actress, and she was the director. And then my profession was a professional event planner and marketing. So she contacted me in 2015, come and talk to her about Shakespeare. She had actually started the Florida Shakespeare and ran that for 12 years. So she had this vision on the town green to do Shakespeare outdoors. So she called me, and my expertise was not Shakespeare. It was creating an event and doing marketing and putting that part of the package together. So what I've learned about Shakespeare, other than what, like you, when I was 14, I've learned from Gail over the past few years. And it's just the experience you get being outside under the stars and watching these crazy, silly, or intense shows. It's just magical to me, you know, because I loved theater anyway. So she didn't have to sell me on that part. You know, I didn't know Shakespeare. I've learned so much, and I sure wasn't finished learning from her when I lost her last month. But that has just been an incredible experience. And adding the Rad Playhouse gives opportunity for other types of shows. And being such a small venue, you bring different types of shows in there, very small cast, intimate. Of course, we did Dracula last fall, and having Dracula right on top of you in the theater is kind of hair raising, it's fun. It's a different experience than you have at the DeSoto. We can't do the big musical productions that they do at the DeSoto.
Right.
So, that's really it.
What are the challenges in Rome to put on things like that with set design and casting and things like that? Do we have a large talent pool?
We absolutely have a large talent pool. Now, we do pull an occasional Atlanta actor, but primarily 99% of our actors are from right here in Rome. We have a huge talent pool right here, and they're incredible. If you come, have you been to one of the Shakespeare festivals?
I have not. I apologize.
See, who's putting who on the spot now?
Well, you're having to turn me on to Shakespeare, because I know the world reveres him as William Shakespeare, but I keep thinking when he was 7 years old, he was just little Billy Shakespeare.
Yes, that's the one you remember.
When he was 7, nobody cared about it. He was just little Billy Shakespeare, and suddenly he's William Shakespeare. I'm just trying to be a comedian. I'm sorry.
I found it pretty funny.
But I will make it out to one.
Good. Well, do, because even if you're not a big Shakespeare fan, the experience that we create for you during that evening is so fun and so magical. And we have our children's group perform before that, a small little excerpt. We usually write our own scripts for those kids, so it makes it more adaptable and understandable, accessible to the people. And Gail just had a real knack for turning the shows into something that you actually could understand, even if you weren't following the words. The inflection and the voice and the body language and the way the actors presented it helped you to understand really what was going on. And I can speak from a personal experience, because I didn't study Shakespeare.
Well, yeah. And of course, Shakespeare is revered because of drama and tragedy and comedy. And he kind of set the template for storytelling that continues today. I mean, there are plays today and sitcoms today that probably sprang from Shakespeare's original thought, long time ago. So Todd, at Lawrence Plantation, we did not touch on your location earlier. You're at Horseleg, right?
Yes, we're 3 miles down Horseleg Creek Road from the Chick-fil-A red light.
Yeah. That is another thing that happens on this show a lot. Richard did it as well. Everybody tells you how to get somewhere by close to a restaurant.
Yes, we love to eat. You don't get a physique like this by not eating.
You're twisted steel and sex appeal, as the wrestlers say. But Richard had to point out that we're near the Piccadilly, and you're just down Horseleg from Chick-fil-A. So how did the pandemic affect you guys? I mean, last year, I guess it hit in the spring, and you've got all these outdoor activities that you offer. So first of all, you're member based, but you have some things that are open to the public, right?
Yeah, really. Our tennis courts are always open to the public, but you just pay a court fee, where members obviously do not have to pay that court fee. But yes, our pool is member only, so anybody can join. And we have people from Armurchie in the model area, some from Polk County, so you don't have to live in this area. So you can just come out and have a good time at the pool. You don't have to qualify other than paying the money. That's the only qualification we have, is to pay us the money and you can swim. So that, and then we have the old golf course back here that, of course, is closed for about 11 years. But the cart paths are still there, and people love to walk those and hike and bike and things like that. And, so, yeah, and then, the things like karaoke and band concerts where anybody can come at any time and just pay door fees.
So do you have, is it one annual membership, or do you have like a specific tennis membership and a specific pool membership that so people can maybe subdivide if they want to?
Right, exactly. You can just be a tennis member or a pool member, or you can combine the two, or you can do all three. We have a gym down here as well to work out in, so you could just be a full member if you want, or just pick what you need and go for it.
Oh, well, that's convenient. And what was the strategy behind that? Just to give more options to more people?
Yeah, just make it easy. If you want to swim but you have no interest whatsoever in tennis, why in the world should you pay for it? So get what you pay for, and don't try to rip money out of people for no reason. Let them play tennis, and they have a pool at home, but they need tennis courts or something. So, we want to have everybody included who wants to be included, and we don't want to exclude them because we have strict membership rules.
Well, and tell me about your event space. Like you mentioned weddings and I guess corporate gatherings or parties. Like how many people can you serve and things like that?
Yeah, so we have the smallest room can host 50 to 60 people. We can host up to really unlimited with our outdoor space, but our indoor facility, we say will seat about 200 to include a dance floor too. So you can fit 200 in this room plus a dance floor. Then our back porch is covered, so you can add seats there, and even it doesn't matter because it's covered. And then we have an outdoor patio area with cafe lights hanging over it, and that makes another great spot. That's where we'll have Kevin Allen, the camp band, coming in June. They're going to play outside, and another band in August going to be outside. And actually, this Friday, Shorter, the sorority from Shorter University, is going to come out and use that space because they still are real strict on their COVID protocols and getting together. But we actually did a theater production, so to speak, a musical cabaret out here this Christmas. So we offer the event space to whoever needs it, and I love that because I'm a theater guy, and so I really want to see it continue to go. Like Tracy's talking about, trying to continue to do it, and being outside is the way to do it right now. Of course, I hope we're getting to the back end of it, where we can all get back to, going to Broadway shows and seeing them, go to Chattanooga and the Fox. But right here in Rome, as you mentioned, we have great shows, great talent. And so being able to do that this Christmas was great. So you name it, we'll probably try to do it for you out here.
What is I think you touched on it earlier, but what is the background of Lawrence Plantation? What did it used to be way back when? How long have you been in the facility you are now?
I heard from a guy, I'd never heard this before, but a few months ago, he said, this used to be a 9-hole course called Mountain View Golf Course. Okay, I've never heard that. But where I remember it started at GEAA, so General Electric Athletic Association. And I actually saw the old sign way down off the golf course the other day for that. But then it became Horseleg Creek Country Club, and then Horseleg Plantation, and so on. Michael Lawrence bought the facility, the property about 7 years ago now. Was going to reopen the golf course, was really thinking hard on it, but then realized it's hard to make money strictly on a golf course. It takes a lot of money to run it, but it really is hard to make money. So right now they enjoy the land and hunt for turkeys and things like that way back off in the distance. And, but I've been here about 3 years now. This will be my 4th pool season. And we've grown from 80 memberships to 160 to 240 to 300 last year. So it's been really good. So we look forward to even more growth. But yeah, we had that little party room I was talking about that hold about 50 or 60 people. When I got here, it was an old fitness room. So we took all the equipment out, made it a small party room, so people who don't need the big facility can use the small room. So, baby showers, birthday parties, and pool parties and things like that, people can come do that and make it more affordable than buying big space and really not needing all that room. So that's what we're doing. And even in the pandemic, that's like, I guess this time last year, I was the only one out here just trying to keep the grass cut and things like that. And we'd have Frios come to the gate. And when we did, it was like a block party because everybody just couldn't wait to get out and see everybody. And so they made our gate the meeting spot, and they all stood around and ate Frios outside and talked to their friends they haven't been able to see in weeks. And so we're here for the community. We call ourselves a family club because we're not like your typical country club where it's, you might think of the upper crust and the snootiness and things like that. And we don't want to do that. We want to be more of the family club where the kids can come have a good time and it's more affordable for everybody.
Gotcha. Yeah, you weren't taking a shot at anybody there. You were just telling what y'all are about, aren't you?
Just telling them like it is.
Yeah. Richard, how did you first get involved with martial arts? What was the draw? What made you dedicate your life and career to it?
So I get involved. My father had done martial arts since he was in college, and I don't know. I was a kid. It was something I wanted to do. And I wanted to do with him. So went to start taking classes. I made my mother go with me. So we all kind of started, or she and I started together. And she started teaching this as an after school program in 1991, where she taught up at Midway School. And it kind of grew from there. It was very organic. This was not something I intended to do. It's just something we kind of fell into. But it feels right. And again, we've been doing it forever. So.
Well, and obviously very skilled at it. We touched on Taekwondo earlier. You said you also had a black belt in, I'm going to mispronounce, Hapkido?
That's right.
What are the subtle differences? We hear karate, we hear jujitsu, we hear Taekwondo. And I know it's probably of different nationalities, Japanese or Korean and things like that. But what are the differences other than that?
Sure. Really, it's all connected. And if you do it long enough, you realize that everybody does a lot of the same stuff. It's just approached from different directions and kind of mindsets. So our Taekwondo is primarily a kicking martial art that derives from karate. And the Koreans took it and kind of ran with it and turned it into something else. So there's a lot more kicking involved in Taekwondo than there is in more traditional karate styles. The Hapkido is derived from a very traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu, which would be what the samurais did when they didn't have their swords. So Brazilian jiu-jitsu has taken that and turned it into a wrestling art on the ground, whereas more traditional jiu-jitsus are more about joint locks and control techniques that you do standing up. But again, there's a lot of intermixture. Well,
what's interesting is, obviously you're a black belt and it's a passion of yours, but it's not, it can be incredibly technically precise. And obviously this is centuries in development. But when it comes to the average person walking in off the street that just needs to learn some self-defense, you mentioned you had worked with the Sexual Assault Center. How quickly can you help somebody develop confidence and develop a little bit of a skill set that can help them out of a jam?
It can be as simple as the first class, teaching a simple technique that works every time. The reality, though, is it takes time. With confidence, self-assurance being kind of the first thing, that's the first step to kind of being left alone, is projecting that confidence. And that takes a long time to develop. As far as technique, that's pretty easy. But developing the confidence, developing that kind of persona takes time. And there's not an easy answer for that one. And everybody's different.
Well, it is interesting because obviously as an athletic thing, with a background in sports, practice makes perfect, obviously. Everybody practices, but just my layperson understanding outside looking in, so much of what you teach in martial arts is in the head. It's mental. It's respectful of the world around you and your opponent. Am I phrasing this correctly? Is that a critical component of what you teach?
It is. And we teach the techniques, we do the technical side to develop the character traits that we're looking for. Develop the self-control, develop the confidence, develop that stick-to-itiveness. Maybe not really a word.
Sure it is.
But the ability to set a goal and reach that goal. So we kind of develop those things that you can't teach somebody confidence. You can't teach them respect. You develop it through time of training in the techniques.
Gotcha. Thomas, circling back around with you, are you going to let us in now on what you promised earlier?
Sure. Well, that's what the chamber is all about. We like to connect people, and we like to build relationships. And this is kind of like always a fun, entertaining brainstorming session, I call it. We already had businesses from previous shows that connected, that have a relationship now, a successful relationship. And I was just a little bit of brainstorming before the show, and I thought, hey, how can we connect you guys all together? So how about Roman martial arts teaches some aqua combat classes at the pool? I did some research, and fitness is important, and there is indeed that it's a movement. It has been a movement. I don't know how big that movement is, but hey, give it a try. That might raise your numbers there, Todd, to meet your next goal. And then the both. How can martial arts, connect with Shakespeare? Well, my wife is actually a part of the Shakespeare ensemble, and she played there a lot, and I get sometimes to look behind the scenes. And a couple of years ago, they had like sword fighting scenes, and they had an expert coming in to teach all these moves. Who knows? Maybe there are some moves that Richard can teach. For an upcoming show. You never know. Now you know where to go and to get like expert advice.
That's a good idea.
And then, here comes the event planner, Tracy and Todd. You hosted several events already, and you even hosted the Rock Horror Picture Show in Lawrence Plantation. And, you have the perfect venue there. And I know Shakespeare always looks for opportunities for fundraising opportunities. Yes, you have your own little theater, but if you need bigger space, why not connect each other and just build something there? So those are my little 50 cents. Other than that, all three guests are great friends of mine as well. I shared a stage before with Todd at the Follies from the Junior Service League. We were in hula Hawaiian costumes, and we were wearing coconut bras. That was really fun. And he was like, my guide. So I was just looking what his moves, and he was helping me. And
thanks for bringing that up, Thomas.
Richard, it was a lot of fun. Why not? I can share that here. That's all right. Richard is an Eagle Scout. We had a Scout show a couple of weeks ago with the Northwest Georgia Boy Scouts Council, and my son and his son are actually together in the same Cub Scouts, and they have a crossover next week. And I actually learned a lot from him. We camp out together, and he can even teach me lots of things, how to cook over fire in paper. That was always fun. And love hearing his stories. He travels the world, and just getting to this 5th, 4th, 6th, 7th degree black belt. I mean, that's something. That's a lifetime achievement. You cannot just go in and get that. And then also, from Tracy and Gail, I learned a lot, and you're always welcoming, and I just like your community involvement. It's awesome. And my as I mentioned, my wife enjoys being a part of it, and if the wife is happy, everybody's happy, you know.
And we love Shannon.
Right. So those are my 50 cents, Roger. So great group today. I love it.
I will tell you this: the one thing I have learned. I mean, all due respect to Tracy and Todd, but if there's like a zombie apocalypse, I want Richard on my team, because if he can cook out in the woods and he's got a black belt and everything.
I know how to fake it, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, let's wrap up here and just kind of going around. Tracy, do you have just contact information, websites, social media that people can follow and get more information about the Rome Shakespeare Festival?
We have RomeShakespeareFestival.com and therad.biz. And they link together, so you can get, if you can just remember one, you can find out all the information that's going on. And we do have our Facebook pages. That's the River Arts District Playhouse and Rome Shakespeare Festival.
And you said you had an event coming up in April?
We do. Driving Miss Daisy opens April the 8th. Of course, all the information is on the website. One thing I will say, we're doing a fundraiser in May, a Shakespeare cabaret that will be in the Labyrinth. I have always wanted to do an event in the Labyrinth. I just think that's the coolest space. And so we're going to do it at night and have lights down there. It's going to be very fun. That's May 14th.
You are an event person.
Yes.
Okay, Todd, how can people find out more information about Lawrence Plantation, become membership? Let's increase your roles, become members. Let's increase your roles, website, social media, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very active on Facebook and Instagram, and we have a little bit going on Pinterest as well, but very active. If you want to know anything that goes on out here, if you just follow us on Facebook, Instagram, you'll know everything. Websites, lawrenceplantation.com. For instance, this weekend we have karaoke on Friday, a tennis tournament for locals who want to play this weekend. Their player party is going to be brought over to the concert. So the open to the public concert this Saturday night. So, and then the tournament continues on Sunday. So we have a calendar there. You can see everything and register for tennis classes, swimming pool memberships, and on and on. So, you know, and one of those 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. So Thomas was talking about Rocky Horror, which we were able to do, or 6 years ago or so, I was in the Rocky Horror Show directed by Tracy. So there's your
small world connecting 6 degrees.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So, and how do you do in like the Trace Adkins sound-alike contest?
You know, actually, it was funny. Somebody called up here to go to the concert last time, and said, "Does anybody?" I remember said that you could sing some Trace Adkins. I said, "Yeah, I've done that before." So when she came up from Bremen to see the concert, and she says, "Oh my God, are you Trace?" "Yes, I recognize your voice." So, yeah, I can definitely do a little bit of that. And earlier in the morning, the lower it is. So, but yeah, I will say too, you don't have to be a good singer to come out karaoke. You just want to have fun. So come on out. It's open every Friday night.
Fantastic. And Richard, what about your website, social media, things like that?
RomanMartialArts.com. We're very active on Facebook and Instagram. Pretty easy to find.
Near the Piccadilly.
That's right.
Near the original Piccadilly. Now there's another Piccadilly over by the.
Now I have to clarify.
Yeah, there's a new one over by the ballpark. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody. Any parting thoughts, Thomas?
No, thanks for having everybody. If you listeners, members, if you guys want to be on the show, contact me, Thomas Kislet at the Rome Floyd Chamber. Just Google us. We are across the street from Duck's Deli. So just to throw another one out. And by the way, you mentioned everybody, Tracy also is the marketing manager over at Harvest Moon. So, lots of eateries there today as well. But Google us, RomeGA.com. It's our website. We are on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And Roger, it was a great show. Thanks for having all of us.
Well, no, thank you, and I appreciate it. I've gotten hungry, so need to go get something to eat. Well, anyway, thank everybody so much for joining us. We do appreciate y'all for listening as well. This has been the Rome Floyd Chamber Small Business Spotlight Podcast. We are broadcasting from the Hardy Realty Studios, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. Thank you so much for listening.